Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's virtual keeper chat from Buttonwood Park Zoo in Massachusetts. It's another kind of gray day here for those of you joining from around the country and around the world. I promise we do get sunny days here in Massachusetts. If you are familiar with our zoo and you've been here in person, you probably know that we are in our barn area where we have some of our domestic animals. Daisy is looking at us right now. That is not who we're featuring today. I'm joined today by one of our keepers, Joey, and our guinea hog, Gladys. So I'm going to let Joey introduce us to her, tell us a little bit about her. We have some enrichment for her to enjoy, and then, of course, we will take all of your questions as well.
Yep, so I'm Joey, and this is Gladys. She's our guinea hog. She's about 10 years old. She'll be turning 11 at the end of the month. Been here since 2009. She came here from the BPZoo Zoo, and guinea hogs are pretty popular kind of pig you'll find on some smaller farms like homesteads because of their temperament, and that's why they do really well with us too. They're big puppies that want a lot of attention and want their belly rubbed as often as possible, but you won't find them on many commercial farms. That's why at this point they are considered endangered. But their numbers are a lot better than they have been. They've kind of gone up and down. The record of a guinea hog being in the United States was in, I think, 1804, in something written by Thomas Jefferson. So they've been here for a really long time. But for a while they did become endangered. They were just less prevalent on farms. But there's a Guinea Hog Association that's been working on getting their genetics to be a little bit healthier, and their numbers have been going up a bit.
So right now, what is happening with Miss Gladys?
So this is one of the enrichment items we have for them. That toy is filled with different kinds of dried fruits, like dried apples, as well as some chopped hay and some romaine. So Gladys, being about 11 years old, she is an older pig. The limit usually people say is around 10 to 15 years old. So she is an old lady, and because of that, her teeth aren't as great as they used to be, so we have to change up their diet to manage that. So instead of getting normal bales of hay, we'll take that baled hay and it'll go through a hay chopper so that she has an easy time chewing it up. And we also cook all of her produce so that it's nice and soft and it's easy enough for her to eat.
Great. And for those of you who have been joining us a lot, you'll remember we've been learning about enrichment. So this is a great way. This species, I believe, is known for their, well, really pigs in general like to do a lot of rooting and spend a lot of time looking for their food. So this is a great way to keep her busy without just giving her a bowl of food.
She has a great sense of smell, so she knows what's in there. She knows what's worth looking for. She
is very strong. I'm seeing her really throw this thing around. All right, we've got a lot of questions coming in. We have a friend, age 3, who would like to know where they sleep.
So Gladys can sleep outside in the warmer months, but in the cooler months, if it's really cold, we'll bring her into the barn and she'll kind of hang out in there for the night. But we also have the shed that you can see in the picture. That's a heated barn for her to sleep in, filled with shavings, nice big bed for her.
Great. Let's see. So one of our friends was asking how she gets the snacks out. So you can see she literally throws it around, and there's holes in it. If I can get her to let me show you. There's holes in this enrichment item, so when she throws it, bits of food will come out as she's throwing it around. Well, that's a great question. Kaiden, age 9, do they see color?
That's a good question. So they are dichromatic, so that they can see colors. They just can't see them as vibrantly as we can, but they're not one of the animals that only sees in black, white, and gray.
And SJ, age 3, is wondering if she likes muddy puddles like they do in the cartoons.
She does. So that's why a lot of people think pigs are dirty and they say your room might look like a pigsty. But pigs are actually really clean. They just get that reputation because of their rolling in the mud. And the reason they roll in the mud is to help kind of maintain body temperature when it's hot outside. Pigs can't sweat like a lot of animals can. So they'll help manage that heat by, one, rolling in puddles so that they can cool down from the water and the mud. And also those big ears that you see, the heat will get dispersed out of those ears as well.
Great. So if you're just joining us, we're here with Joey and Gladys the Guinea Hog. Do you want to talk a little bit? You mentioned that these guys are an endangered species. I would imagine a lot of our visitors are curious about the idea of a domestic animal being endangered because they don't live in the wild.
Yeah, so they're a heritage breed, so they're an animal that has been kind of a staple of the United States going back the last 200 years. And just over that time, they've been found less on less in farms, and the breeding programs for a period of time weren't as successful, and they were crossbred with other different kinds of pigs. And once you crossbreed them with other kinds of pigs, you kind of lose the genetics of a guinea hog. But there has been a group, and I don't know if they're a non-profit, but a group of volunteers that have been tracking the genetics of all of the guinea hogs. And for, I don't know when they started, but the genetics have gotten much better since then.
Great. So it looks like she has finished the food in her first treat container. And Joey has some other items for her.
So this is some of that chopped hay I mentioned before, and it's filled with little pieces of apple, as well as on the bottom there's some grain and mushed up banana.
Maybe she'll stop long enough that I can let you guys get a good look at her face. Isabella, age 9, would like to know how many babies they can have at a time.
So they can have anywhere from 1 to 14 babies at one time, but usually the average number is about 6.
Lainey wants to know how much she weighs.
So Gladys weighs around 215 pounds, but guinea hogs in general can weigh anywhere from 150 to 300 pounds, which is also one of the reasons that they're really popular, is because they're not as big as some of the pig species, and they are really nice with people. But some pigs can weigh up to 700 or 800 pounds. These are nice and small.
While she's standing still, I'll see if you guys can get a good look at her hair. You want to talk a little bit about the texture of her hair?
So it's pretty wiry. Guinea hogs, at this point, because of the genetics of them, they're primarily black, but the first record of a guinea hog was actually a red guinea hog. So there are records of some guinea hogs that'll have a little bit of red in their hair, but it's pretty rare now. There's actually blue guinea hogs too, but those are even more rare. So it's just kind of wiry.
Can they swim? Logan, age 8, would like to know.
So pigs in general can swim. I assume guinea hogs can, but because they're a domestic breed and they're mostly found on farms and in zoos, they don't usually have the opportunity to swim in any deep water. Just like find a cow anywhere near deep water. But pigs in general, not necessarily guinea hogs, there are plenty of pigs that are able to swim.
Kaiden, age 9, would like to know if she has a favorite keeper.
So I don't know the answer to that. The people that spend more time with her and have worked with her for longer, I imagine, are probably her favorite keepers, but they said themselves that they think whoever is giving her the most recent belly rubs, they are the favorite keeper.
Yeah, she seems to like anyone who feeds her rubs her belly. Let's see. How big can they get?
So about 300 pounds tends to be the high end of a healthy guinea hog. I mean, if you gave Gladys all of the food in the world, she might beat that number at some point. But for a healthy guinea hog, 300 tends to be the limit. And they usually can grow to be about, at most, 2 feet tall and about 4 to 5 feet long.
Do you want to just stand behind her so we can see in perspective how big she is compared to a human, maybe? Ooh, as I trip over a rock. So you can see just how big she is.
Compared to a lot of pigs, not huge.
Isabella, age 5, wants to know if guinea hogs and pigs are the same thing.
So pigs is kind of a big family of all the different kinds of pigs, and guinea hog is just in that family.
Great. Some people are asking if we have more than one guinea hog or they remember seeing 2.
Yeah, so we had another guinea hog named Max. She unfortunately passed away last year from cancer. Because like I said, they were both old ladies and they're both up there in years. So she unfortunately passed away, which just means we give Gladys more attention. We walk her around the zoo pretty frequently. She's been in most of the visitor walkways that you may have been when coming to the zoo. But she's doing really well.
Do they get along with other animals? Brooke, age 7, would like to know.
So here, she doesn't interact with any of the other animals just because there's too many unknowns. And I mean, if you look in the background, you can see Daisy keeping an eye on what we're doing. And Daisy tends to be a little bit too big. But generally, pigs probably do get along with other animals because they are really mild-tempered animals in general.
Olivia, age 7, would like to know what pigs eat.
So pigs will eat a little bit of grain, but not too much because they can get pretty fat on grain. So she's also, here at the zoo, going to get different kinds of hay. She'll get different kinds of fruits and vegetables. But pigs and guinea hogs in general can eat a lot more than that. So they'll dig for roots. They can eat small mammals at times if they have the opportunity. Some people actually have guinea hogs on their farms because they help protect from rodents. So they'll eat mice and rats and even snakes. But not here.
Amanda is wondering, and I'm not sure if you know this answer, is there a backstory of how they ended up here? Did they come from Europe? Did they come from somewhere else?
Yeah, so my understanding is they came from Europe in the early 1800s, along with just people that were colonizing the United States as a domestic animal to work and kind of provide on farms because they can provide meat. But there is a lot of debate as to exactly how guinea hogs ended up where they are today because of the other pigs that they may have bred with, and just some variation that's happened along the years. But we think early 1800s, just with Europeans as they came to the United States.
We had someone wondering if you ever give her a bath.
So I've never given her a bath. As far as I know, we don't give her any baths. We'll hose her down just to kind of give her some water, and it's just enrichment where we'll set up hoses in the summertime for her to play in. But from what I've seen, she tends to play more in the mud underneath the hose than she does the hose itself. But most animals can keep themselves as clean as they need to be on their own.
Great. Juliana, age 8, that's a great question. We've seen a lot of keepers using target poles and doing training with their animals. Does she get trained?
She does. So she's trained for a bunch of different things. She is target trained. She can hop on a scale so that we can make sure she weighs a healthy number every month. People actually say that pigs are more trainable and potentially more intelligent than dogs and cats. So they are very smart animals. They're very trainable.
Oh, didn't mean to interrupt your food. When do you happen to know her birthday?
Yeah, it's May 3rd.
That's my birthday.
Really?
Gladys, we share. Sorry, that's such a kid thing to say, but I tried to say it. I think you're getting a good view, Anna, of just how fast they can eat. She's clearly wolfing down her food, which is a really important reason that the keepers have to work hard to give her as much enrichment as possible to keep her busy with her food. Back in the day, she would have been rooting around in a colonial farm, finding her food a lot of the times. Samantha, age 7, wants to know if they bite.
So they can. I mean, like all of our signs say, all animals can bite because they have a mouth and they have teeth. But that's the reason guinea hogs and Gladys are so popular, is they are really friendly animals for the most part. They have a good temperament, so we're able to kind of hang around with her. But in theory, she could bite.
Great. All right, we've had some really great questions about our friend Gladys the guinea hog. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for this keeper chat. Yes, Amanda, all of our animals get birthday parties on their birthdays for the most part. They get special treats, and the keepers give them some extra love for sure. All right, Joey, is there anything that you would like to end with? Any parting words that you think are really important for people to know about guinea hogs or pigs in general?
Have
we covered it all?
Pretty much everything.
Awesome. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed meeting our friend. She's clearly out of her snacks and going to be moving around a lot more, so it's going to get hard to film. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the lovely questions. We love that you're so curious and interested in the animal world, and we love sharing them with you, if only virtually during this time. So we hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. A huge thank you to Jamie and anybody else who has donated. We appreciate your donations, which help the nonprofit arm of the zoo, the Zoological Society, to continue offering these virtual programs for you. And we will see you back here tomorrow for another edition of our virtual keeper chat. Thank you, Joey, for joining us today and spending some time with us. Have a great day. And if you are just tuning in, we will post this, and you can view the whole video then. Thank you.